Hello, hello, my darling, beautiful dragon friends. Welcome once again back to my channel, or welcome if it is your first time here. My name is Ariel. I am the Sassy Dragon, and today, guys, I'm super happy. We're going to be talking about one of my favorites of all time, Guerlain Champs Elysees. This is going to be the Eau de Toilette, my favorite version of this fragrance. It has been quite a flap about this perfume to those who love it because for a while it went away. If you go all the way back to 1996 like I do, you will remember it coming in this bottle with the pink boxes, right? And this is one of the vintage bottles of the Eau de Toilette. I have a few of them just because I started kind of gathering them up when I realized that it may not be around or long for this world. And I was very dubious about reformulations or anything new that was coming. Now, I did do a review of the Eau de Parfum version of this fragrance, and even though a lot of people still said it's not quite the same, I was pretty happy with that. I think that they did a good reformulation on the Eau de Parfum, but I will say that that was never my favorite. My favorite was the Eau de Toilette because the Eau de Toilette, for some strange reason, on me personally, always wore a little longer, smelled a little stronger, it was a little more sharp, a little more sparkly, a little more fresh in a way. The other one is a little bit more florally, and it tends to feel a little softer around the edges, where the Eau de Toilette feels a little more sharp, a little more crisp. The Champs Elysees Eau de Toilette was launched in 1996 along with the Eau de Parfum. This was created by some of the best that ever have made perfume, Jacques Guerlain, Jean-Paul Guerlain, and Olivier Cresp. Top notes of melon, peach, almond, violet, black currant, and anise. Middle notes are mimosa, lilac, lily of the valley, peony, rose, almond blossom, and hibiscus. Base notes of vanilla, almond tree, sandalwood, benzoin, and cedar. So this one is a very typical 90s perfume where they kind of threw everything but the kitchen sink at it note-wise. You go back to like some of these perfumes that came from the 90s and you were like, what did you not put in it? It would be the better question to ask because they would put so many notes. Perfumes in general now are so simplistic compared to what they were cranking out, you know, almost 30 years ago, which is crazy to think about. So let's get into it. I absolutely adore this perfume, and the reason I'm so happy is because I tested this out last night, guys, and I have got to tell you, they knocked it out of the park with this one for me. Oh. It takes me right back to that period of time in my life. Oh my goodness. To me, this is one of those memory scents in a bottle. So for me, it is just an incredible experience anytime I smell this. It's just pure love. And the original is a little sharper when it comes out. It may also be because it's aged a little bit, so you're going to get a little bit more alcohol when it first comes out. But as this dried down, oh my God, it comes into its own. And they both lasted exactly the same on my arm. They both smelled exactly the same on my arms as they were drying down. So I was just so relieved that I have this perfume back in my life. I hope they keep making it, especially in the Eau de Toilette version, because I just think it's one of the best perfumes ever made. I even went upstairs. My mom was smelling me and she's like, what is that? That's the best, one of the best ever. I was like, yes, I know. And I told her, I was like, that's my old favorite. I said, that's the Champs Elysees Eau de Toilette. So let's talk about the notes a little bit more as we smell this. It's funny, but I noticed the peach a whole lot more in the beginning of this one than I feel like I ever have. It could be because it's a little bit fresher. Yeah, this one has just a little bit more peach, just a little bit. I mean, the differences are almost imperceptible. It's tiny for me. Because that's the old one and this is the new one. You know, to me, there's so much on track. And that's the thing about this perfume. There's so many notes, but it's blended so well that it's very cohesive. And it makes it hard to pick out specifics that hit stronger. You know, it just has this beautiful... It's definitely not a gourmand. It's not a syrupy, sugary... It has vanilla, but that's very much in the base, and it's very subtle. The base notes are, to me, extremely subtle in this. This is a more effervescent, more top note, middle note. The mid is very floral, and so when you get into that middle, you do get more of the floral from this. But what I love about the Eau de Toilette version is that it stays a little sharper. The parfum gets a little bit more, like I said, it's more sweet floral. It's more like a typical yellow white floral in the middle. It's still very good, and I still have both of them because I like them both, but the Eau de Toilette wins a little bit more. The black currant is so nice and strong in the top of this. To me, it's the strongest of the fruity notes, but it blends so well with the melon and the peach in the top. The almond is so great in this perfume. It has that almond in the top note. It has almond tree in the bottom note. I think the almond tree is very interesting. There's plenty of fragrances that use almond, but not too many add the tree as well, which it gives it a little bit more of that sharpness, a little bit more of that greenness. Even though I would not call this perfume a green perfume, it doesn't smell leafy or grassy, but it does have that snap to it that just keeps it from being too balsamic, too kind of mellow, too you know, sweet, or just too like a nondescript floral, right? It's got a lot of floral, but it's not a nondescript floral. It's got a lot of fruit notes in it, but it's not one of those generic smelling fruity florals. It's definitely different. There's nothing like this perfume. If you want something unique, you want this. You know, given that you like it, right? Because I never say you should wear something you don't like. The mimosa, the lilac is so great in here. In the middle, we also have almond blossom. So we got the trifecta of almond. We have the actual almond, we have the almond flower, and we have the almond tree in the base. So it's a really awesome, like, journey with the almond here. I wouldn't call this an almond heavy fragrance, even though it is so much in this perfume. Because the almond, the way it's blended with the floral and fruit, it almost comes off as just sort of a kind of an aromatic, almost powdery kind of quality or note that runs through it. It's really unique. It also blends really well with that lilac, which I would say another thing, I'm not usually a huge fan of lilac or lily of the valley, but this has them right there in the middle notes, and yet I adore this fragrance. So don't let that turn you off, but it does blend it as well with mimosa, peony, hibiscus. Hibiscus is a you know, flower we make tea from. It's very rich in vitamin C, so it's a little snappy, right? It's got that, again, it's got a little bit of that snap to it. The rose is also in there, so it really has this very, very nice bouquet in the middle. Top notes has the violet, right? The violet's in there. Touch of anise in the top note. That kind of goes away somewhat quickly, but again, it's also blended very well with the almond. So kind of that anise almond, you know, it's in there, but none of the notes punch you right in the face because they're all there, but they're all really well blended into this. To me, it's quite a feat of perfuming, because to me, this is something that could just end up smelling like a total train wreck because there's so many notes in it. But because it's so masterfully done, it's so well blended, you get all of it and yet none of it at the same time. It's like you get a little bit of all of it, but it's all blended so well, it smells like its own unique fragrance. And that's what to me makes a perfume great. Guys, I'm a super happy dragon today because I am just delighted that I found this. I'm gonna post a link in the description box on this video, because I will tell you, this one was actually a little bit hard to get. The official Guerlain site is not currently carrying the Eau de Toilette, which I think is strange. They do have the Parfum, but not this one, so I had to hunt around for it. They are making it, but they're not putting it on their official site, which I think is strange. So I found a site that had a pretty good price on it. It was decent. It was cheaper than the listed retail, so I wasn't too upset at all by that. And this is I think it's a 2.5. Yeah, this is going to be a 2.5 bottle here. And as always, you know, this, I do miss, I gotta say, I miss the vintage bottles. I miss that classic old shape that they made with these. You know, they're kind of repackaging all their old classics and putting them in, you know, this bottle with the little inverted heart top, which I still think is very cute. I don't mind it at all. You know, this one has the little stamp, the little Guerlain stamp on the top as well. So, you know, they could stick it in whatever bottle they want as long as it smells like that. I'm completely in love. So, guys, girls, my dragons, yep. Very, very happy to have this one in circulation. Very happy to report they did not destroy the Eau de Toilette, at least for my chemistry. It runs pretty true to character, and I think I'm a pretty good test subject because I've been wearing this literally since it was launched in '96, and it's wearing beautifully on my skin, on my chemistry. So check it out for yourselves, especially if you're looking for a really unique fruity floral that is not quite like the rest. Will definitely get you compliments. You know, I couldn't attach a certain season to this. A lot of people say it's very springy because of the lilac and the mimosa, but I tell you, for me, I remember wearing this in the dead of winter and autumn with, you know, velvet dresses and, you know, feeling very glamorous and gothy. So, you know, to each his own. Absolutely in love with it, guys. So until then, till next time, I will see you soon. Leave your comments below. As always, I love to hear what you have to say or what you may know or your own experiences with this fragrance. See you soon. Bye-bye for now.